Hello and welcome to Frankston North Rotary's Couch Conversations. My name is Beverly Unit and it's with great delight I'm introducing and having a chat today with the wonderful Linda Tinney. Hi Linda.
Hi Bev, how are you this morning?
I am fabulous and thanks for making your time available to us because you work in the health industry as a health professional. Can you share a little bit about what you actually do?
Yes, I work for Peninsula Health down at Frankston Emergency Department. I'm an Associate Nurse Unit Manager, ANUM as we call it, and I often run the floor there, which our department has over 50 beds. Sometimes we can have 90 patients there, and with the COVID-19 it has been challenging and a lot of restructuring to cope with all that at the moment, which everyone's done an amazing job.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you on behalf of anyone who's listening to this for what you and your colleagues do, because we're recording this in the time of COVID-19, and it's not just that you're doing that marvellous teamwork that you're leading at the hospital there, but you're actually making yourself available and going to work this afternoon. So you're making yourself available to share a little bit about your journey. So thank you. Thank you. I think it's absolutely awesome. So you discovered Rotary by someone inviting you or someone telling you about it?
I discovered Rotary through someone inviting me. It was your previous interviewee, past District Governor David Loudon. He actually introduced me to Rotary, him and his beautiful wife Shirley, and I liked what I saw. I liked the friendliness of the club, and they are a very active club. Internationally and locally, and it's wonderful. You meet people that you would normally not meet.
Yeah, and because you've got such a busy job, how do you kind of juggle and handle the ability to do your career but also do your community commitment that you love to do through Rotary? How do you juggle that?
Look, the members are really understanding, which is really fantastic. And it's just doing what you can do. Like I was doing the hoe up to a couple of months ago, and a couple of members have taken that on because of the busyness of the hospital at the moment and the extra shifts. So they said, we'll do it. But
that's the newsletter. That's the
newsletter. Yeah. So I could do that at home in my own time. And it's just helping out where you can. Like I couldn't attend all the barbecues that we do, but it was doing what I can and maybe doing other things, supportive roles. There's so many different roles you can do.
Yeah.
It's very flexible.
Nice. So when your journey with Rotary has been more than a decade. Yes, more than a decade. And as we speak, did you say it was 12 years? Did you say
12 years?
12 years. That's amazing.
April 2008 I joined.
Oh, wow. I wonder if you have a couple of favourite projects you've been involved in, like right from the get-go. What's kind of stands out for you?
Well, what stood out for me a lot was the Rotary Health. They've got a strong health and research, which they're doing a lot on. But the polio project. The polio project is still ongoing. It's been ongoing since about 1985. And it's where we go around the world and we immunise children against polio. So they have a national immunisation day. And in 2010, a colleague of mine, a dear friend of mine, joined a group and we went over to India and we experienced that firsthand. And it was quite an eye-opener. It was, to see these children that have been affected by polio, and just simple things that we can do to change that, just that immunisation, great sanitation. So on this trip we got taken around. In Rotary there's what's called district grants and global grants, which is quite complex, but as a new Rotarian I had no idea how they worked. But then we got taken around to these places and you could see a plaque, donated by the Rotary Club of Oklahoma or something like that, and it was a clean water filter for the village.
Oh wow.
Or a set of toilets, and you think that's just something basic, but it's good sanitation. And a lot of these kids and people that worked in the fields would have to walk, get water, or walk to go and just go to the toilet with, and often it would be in the field. So they're putting themselves at a health risk and at a safety risk. A lot of young girls were sexually abused, unfortunately. So setting up these clean water wells and that were in the village and the toilets, it was safer for health reasons, and there was less attacks on these young kids. Wow. So something simple that we just take so much for advantage, and to see that firsthand, it just rocks you to your core to think that still isn't available to everyone on this earth.
Yeah, and if your eyes aren't open to it, like, we don't know what we don't know. So unless your eyes are open to it, you don't realise it. And with your passion for health, being able to go and like see one simple difference in what it can make to a village, to a community, very empowering, very satisfying to say, well, I can contribute in this way.
And it made me understand how the grants worked, and then you get that passion to say, look, yes, it's doable, and yes, it is being done, because that's one good thing with Rotary. We use other Rotary clubs, so we make sure there is a transparency, and we do that follow through, that what we say we're going to do, we're doing. So where people can be reassured of that.
It's like a united effort. If you're going into another country, you're working with another Rotary club there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Excellent. And do you have another project that you've been involved in your 12 years that jumps out for you as well? Like, there would have been many, but that's a great one. But is there others that jump out for you as well?
Well, when I was a director on Charles's presidency, and that was interesting because we did vegetable garden beds for a local secondary school, and Frankston North has got some social demographic issues. So some of those children were coming to school without having breakfast, so they also had a breakfast program there. So I attended a couple of breakfast programs that we helped with, and the vegetable gardens were helping, allowing the children to grow those vegetables and then use them for breakfast, or some of them didn't even bring lunch, so they could make a salad and add things to it for lunch, and they weren't getting ostracised so much with the other children. And it's also teaching the school about growing their local produce, composting, that recycling and reusing as well.
Yeah, real practical skills at a local level too. I grew up on Frankston North, so I totally understand. Commonly known as the Pines. And I grew up there. That was where I went to school, and the schools that I went to have since pulled down. But I totally understand the demographic and the challenges within the community. And with great respect, I saw it myself in my years growing up as well. So to be able to teach children to work as a team together and grow something, like create something, that's really powerful, because they learn a little bit more than just a garden bed, don't they? There's team spirit. There's fabulous. Yeah,
there's so much, and because for whatever reason, a lot of these children would come to school and they would have very little interaction with their own parents. So to build that teamwork and those breakfast programs, they just wanted that interaction, that reassurance, that affirmation to say they are worthy people, and that helps build their characters as well.
Yeah, it does. And it also goes on that you think it's somebody listening to this might think it's something so simple, getting children involved in a growing a garden, a feeding breakfast program. But some of these children find their inner strength within and go on and lead teams themselves and take the ball from there and keep it going. So it's such a beautiful gift at a local level to be able to create that. So yeah, that's fantastic. So, Linda, I love also that you're a part of the International Women's Day Committee, because you and I share a role on that supportive committee with that's been going about 6 or so years now, I think, from memory. And, we've been on that committee as well, so bringing that to the Mornington Peninsula. So Rotary's really not just an international flavour, it has local levels. You've been a true part of that in your 12 years, at local level, at international level. And you're fitting this in around your health career. So thank you so much for the great work you do, you and your team in the health world, especially right now in the time of COVID-19. And thank you especially for joining in on Rotary's Couch Conversations. If we were sitting together, we'd be having a quick cup of tea, then I'd be out the door so you could go to work. But we're not. So we're meeting together this way digitally, and I really do appreciate your time. Hey, thanks for sharing a little bit about Rotary, Linda. Is there any final words you'd like to share with anyone who's thinking about joining a Rotary club?
Look, come down, say hi. We're a friendly mob, and you know, there might be something there that you just want to do in your own time, or you might want to bring something. You know, people don't realise they want to give to Rotary, but Rotary actually gives so much back as well. I've met people, as I've said, that I would never usually have met in my career as a Rotarian. You know, and that's just not from our club, but that's district and internationally as well.
Yeah, and we all learn from each other. We all give something in the spirit of humanity to each other, so it's beautiful. Yeah. Well, I'm proud to know you, Linda Tinney. You're a fabulous woman, and thank you for joining us on Frankston North Rotary's Couch Conversations.
My pleasure, Bev. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Couch Conversations brought to you by Frankston North Rotary. To discover more about Rotary, ask a question, explore if Rotary is ideal for you, please connect on our Facebook page or via email.